muted. And we have one person watching us. Mackie Bus says hello.
Hello.
Hello everyone, welcome to Overwatch today. This is Big Fish here on the aftermath of Blizzcon with all the announcements and such. Day one, right. With all the announcements and such and nonsense. I'm joined today by none other than Huntersummoner, who has graciously joined us again on our second outing, which will hopefully record positively, swimmingly.
Nobody believes that I was here the first time because there's no video evidence of it now.
Well, we're here now, so it's totally cool.
Alright.
Yes, we are talking about the Overwatch announcements. Yay for Sombra, indeed.
Finally!
So Sombra is finally here. We got a whole eyeful of her. Unfortunately, we probably won't get her actually in-game until probably the end of the month, I would imagine.
Yeah, being on console, I think the PTR is slated for next week. So they said like Monday, Tuesday. Tuesday is usually update day, so probably Tuesday for the PTR, and we'll probably see her on that for another week or two. So we're probably not going to get to see her on console until we actually get Season 3. I'd probably imagine they're just going to lump all that into one big bundle for us on console.
The really interesting thing will be to see how the PTR kind of plays out, how everyone I guess plays it and stuff like that. You know, if everybody migrates over to that and stops playing like on the regular modes in the regular game. So, especially with all the hero changes they did recently, so it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I think
how the PTR
will probably see
works.
A lot of people. PC will probably see a lot of people kind of stop with competitive. I think if they're happy with the rank, and you'll probably get a few people that are still trying to get that Grandmaster or Master that'll be able to get it now, because those people take a break. They got that rank. They're getting their points for the season, and they'll want to jump over into playing Sombra, testing her out for the next season go around.
Yeah, so that'll be the next couple weeks will be interesting for sure to see what happens. Anyway, so let's get into our Sombra notes, which we've been waiting for forever and a day. So Sombra herself will go. So how they released her was pretty cool.
I think we all kind of saw the hack, the press conference kind of coming, though. I mean, I didn't expect it to be during the, hey, let's go back and look at the retrospective of us starting Overwatch back in May, and this is what it was going on in the studio when the servers went live. That kind of caught me, so I was surprised. I figured Jeff just be running, through the regular hoops and everything else about stuff coming up, and she'd hack the stage there. But it was interesting. But I think we all kind of saw the Sombra hack the conference coming from a month ago.
Yeah, I think a lot of people on Reddit said that's what they wanted to happen, so Blizzard being Blizzard, they oblige everything that every fan ever asks them to do. So they... So, Sombra herself is an offensive hero from playoverwatch.com. We'll go off of there first, and then we'll get into some of the other stuff they talked about as well. So, her role as offense, her difficulty is 3 stars, obviously. She has a very difficult toolkit, it looks like. I think a lot of the heroes incoming after the ones released, I think will probably be more of the higher difficulty skill set. That's just me theorizing. We have a lot of the easy characters in for the people that just want to play for fun. I think now a lot of the heroes they're going to start adding will be the higher difficulty people.
Yeah, a little more strategy involved, a little more complex. I mean, a lot of her stuff is definitely situational with how you use it.
Definitely. And a lot of the people playing her at BlizzCon have said, you know, she has really a high skill. You really got to know what you're doing. So her stealth and debilitating attacks make Sombra a powerful infiltrator. Her hacking can disrupt her enemies, ensuring they're easier to take down. While her EMP provides upper hand against multiple foes at once, Sombra's ability to translocate and camouflage herself makes her harder to pin down. Her abilities are a machine pistol, which has 60 rounds. It's kind of like, people say it's kind of like Tracer's guns, except with a higher round count.
Definitely looks like about a... Sorry, didn't want to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Definitely, I was watching Stylosa and a couple of the other ones, and everything definitely looks like it's a short range to medium range type gun. It looks like it's got a lot of spread when it starts getting a lot of fire from it. So it's definitely going to be one of those ones that's going to be, you're going to have to definitely work on your control, especially when we're dealing with console and everything. It's going to start to spray off and everything unless you can keep that lined on your target. Especially when you're doing it 60 rounds at a time.
It looks
burn
like
through it really fast and not hit anything.
Right. It looks like, to me, it looks like an in-between like Tracer's gun and Reaper's shotgun, where you have, you know, it's a higher round count, but it goes really fast, so if you're up close to somebody, then you're going to take them down.
I think they said the average damage per bullet was 6.
So, yeah, that's going to be, you're going to have to be up close and in their face, or behind their head, to take them down. Her hack ability, Sombra hacks enemies to temporarily stop them from using their abilities, or hacks first aid kits to make them useless. Thermoptic, I guess it would be called. Camo.
Thermoptic.
Sombra becomes invisible for a short period of time, during which her speed is boosted considerably. Attacking using offensive abilities or taking damage disabled or camouflage, which I read on the Reddit thing with somebody who's playing, said that everybody was Sombra, and then the other team was losing, so they all switched to Winston, which instantly takes out her camouflage ability as soon as she gets damaged. So you don't have to aim, obviously, with Winston, which I think is what kind of everybody was saying. Like, if you have a camouflaged or a stealth hero, how do you take them? You know, how do you unstealth them? Well, you do with Winston what you do with most other fast characters. You just shoot randomly, and anybody around is going to get shot with this Tesla cannon.
Whether it's accidental, just you're shooting into an area and hit her, or you're intentionally, like you said with Winston, trying to look for her, and I think she takes that one damage, it drops. So, I mean, it's definitely one of the things I think with using what you haven't mentioned yet coming up here is that translocator. You know, she can throw it. You're gonna high arc that thing to the other side of the map or whatever, and she can teleport over there, avoiding that whole big line of fire and still be able to maintain that invisibility.
Yeah. So the next ability is the translocator. Sombra tosses out the translocator beacon. She can instantly return to the beacon's location while it's active. I think you have 15 seconds after you throw it to use it.
Yes, I do remember hearing that.
And then including when it's in mid-flight, so you can literally throw it above somebody and land on them, I guess, if you wanted to. People were reporting playing at BlizzCon that they were teleporting to unexpected places. So I guess off-map and weird places, probably on top of buildings or wherever they were throwing it.
I saw a couple playthroughs where they threw it up, like to I think Hollywood, that middle building at the start of it.
Mm-hmm.
They throw it up there, and it hit the top of that building. So when they use it, they're on top of it, and it forces you to slide back down and everything else. But
yeah,
it gets stuck in some weird places. It doesn't automatically force it down. I don't know whether that's something they're gonna be able to get fixed before it goes live, or that's something they're just gonna leave.
Yeah, I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing if it gets stuck on top of a roof.
It still forces you down. You're not going to be stuck up there. So.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see We'll have to see what happens. So her ultimate ability is an EMP. Sombra discharges electromagnetic energy in a wide radius, destroying enemy barriers and shields and hacking all opponents caught in the blast. So her hacking ability, her EMP, well, the hacking ability is a secondary weapon. So it's kind of like if you're using the PC, it's the right click, and if you're using a controller, it's the left trigger. So use the hack to temporarily, I guess, what would that be called? Where they just stop moving, or whatever. It's like it kind of looked like to me like a lower form of the EMP. Like the EMP stops everybody within the blast radius.
Yeah, the hack's more of a single target use, where the EMP is kind of a AOE.
Yeah, I do like that that they made it like an alternate ability to disable health packs. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. It makes it basically non-usable for enemy targets, and it speeds up the recharge on friendlies using that location.
So, let's see. So, if you look at her, and then her story is on here too, and her real name is deleted out. As if you watch the second video with her story or whatever, she removed her name and took the name Sombra because she got found out by the all-seeing red eye. So, and
more plot. We've got yet another big baddie that's even more bad than Talon or anything from this little chart you see there too that she's looking at. Like the Illuminati controlling everything.
Right, the Illuminati confirmed in Overwatch. Yeah, somebody on Reddit, I think, said they wanted to call it the Abyss, so I guess that's just what we'll call it for right now.
Sure, why not? We'll give it credit.
Sure, why not? So, so if you look at the chart, is the first time we actually kind of see like maybe the master plan of Blizzard's Overwatch lore. So it kind of gives you the like Volskaya is connected to Lumerico, and how all the Overwatch agents are connected to Overwatch and Talon, this weird eyeball thing, and how Sombra's right up there with everybody else. So, if you want to read her story, it's on Overwatch and stuff. So, it's cool. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the chart too. I actually had that up before we started this. Just going through that. There's the lady from Volskaya and the unnamed Omnic that she's doing the dirty dealing with and everything. Her daughter. We've got a couple other people branching off from that. I guess the president from Lumerico, whose name escapes me at the moment. You know, some of the Los Muertos gang members branched off down there. We've got Bridget, who's connected to Reinhardt as his valet or squire. I guess is the proper term for that since he's a knight.
Right.
And we've got another little person branching off from Anna from her time with the Sheik mask there. So we've got questions of who's connected with her during that. We've got another one with Farah. Maybe that's Dad, who we still don't know who that is. And anything, and we've got that other one that's interesting, that's branching off between Reinhardt and the Abyss, and that's the one that I'm trying to figure out what exactly that one is.
Which one?
I don't know if you've seen up right above what we're calling the Abyss of the Eye, and it connects with Reinhardt. That's the one I want to know.
Hold on, let me pull it. I don't have it up. I just posted it on the Instagram page when I found it earlier, so everybody could see it. Because, like Like, so, let's see. Okay, which now, so there's Torbjorn Reinhardt, and then some weird-looking girl, and then to the left of Reinhardt is... I don't know what that is. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I guess that's their connection to the...
And what I'm trying to figure out, because we don't have a lot of images, and it's really hard to tell from that one. If you've seen the cover image for the upcoming Blizzard comic book, it kind of looks like the Omnic from that cover.
Oh, yeah, who everybody thinks is Liao, or whoever it is. Yeah.
So I'm wondering if there's going to be, if that's the same Omnic, and what we'll get from that comic book. That'll be interesting.
Right, and what, so Doomfist is obviously down, connected to Talon at the bottom, and then what's the weird, like, sideways square, which is a diamond. I don't know what that is. I know that's something.
Yeah, I can't tell exactly what that is. It looks like some like little walker.
Is that is that Volskaya, and the V is the Vishkar Corporation? I don't know what I think the V is Vishkar, and the square is, I don't know. One of them is Vishkar, or has to be.
Yeah, I think that's the one right there with Doomfist, because that's the symbol we have over in Nubani, isn't it?
I can't. I have to get on this and figure out who all these things are. But so you have the Eye, and then you have Talon, and you have Widowmaker, and then assuming that the little silhouetted figure below her is probably her husband, which is connected to Ana, and then Ana is the Captain Amariana, Soldier, and Reaper right there. Their younger selves. So, and then...
Yeah, I just pulled up the Viscar.
The interesting...
Yeah, I don't see Viscar actually on the... on it here. I just pulled up the Viscar image logo, and it's not actually on this little Sombra thing.
Okay, well that'll be... Yeah, that'll be...
Of course, we don't have Symmetra or Lucio or anybody else on this little chart either, so...
Right. So that'll be something else, I guess, to see. And then, so then on the right we have Soldier and Mercy and Genji are connected, obviously. And then up to the top right corner is the Shimada clan symbol. There's Hanzo, and then there's a silhouetted figure above Hanzo, which either could be Genji's younger self or somebody else connected with the Shimada clan.
Could be their father. You know, we don't know exactly what happened to him. Clearly the brothers were supposed to take over.
Right.
And else it could be just some other random member of the group that we're not aware of yet. You know how deep they want to go into the lore.
Right. So assuming that a lot of the dots will be connected.
And we've got a whole upper section that we can't see, so...
Right. Of course there is. Of course there is. And of course what better imagery that the new the Origin video gave us was Gremlin Sombra.
Yeah.
So with the Doritos and the Mountain Dew and energy drinks. So, yeah. So to answer some questions that are on the chat right now, the Sombra is not out on console. She probably won't be until the end of the month. Same thing with PC, but the PC you'll get if you're on the PTR, you'll get her next week. So, yeah.
Like
so that's.
I expect around season 3 start, we'll get Sombra.
Yeah. So those are some of the things, and then hold on, let's see here. And so, so was there anything else you wanted to touch on Sombra?
I think we covered most of the major issues. I mean, clearly, you know, we're going to be talking about balance with her and the powers and That's gonna, be from people playing her in the PTR when it becomes more than just the people at BlizzCon. You've already got the people that are screaming that she's overpowered with some of these things. People didn't like a stealth character. I mean, there's been plenty of other first-person shooter games that have worked with stealth characters just fine. I mean, we're not dealing with the spy from like Team Fortress 2, where she can pretend to be a member of the other team. She doesn't have any powers that are gonna basically kill anybody in one shot. Now, clearly, she can go invisible, get behind you, and put the gun there, but that's not any different than somebody that's gonna headshot you from across the room either.
Right.
So, I mean, Reaper can teleport behind you, catch you off guard, and blow you away with a shotgun just as easy. So,
and I think somebody brought it up the other day. It's like, yes, like pretty much all the heroes and stuff have a low entry point where you can pick them up and you can start playing or whatever, but they have a high, like all the heroes actually have a high skill cap, where if you put in the time and you invest the time into any hero, yes, you're gonna get good, and you're gonna have advantages over people that don't play these heroes and stuff like that. So I think that's what some people don't realize. It's like you have to put in the time to a hero in order to actually unlock all the abilities and stuff like that.
I mean, these guys like Seagull and Tailspin and all these pro guys, I mean, these guys have been doing it since the beta, when the rest of us were still able to just watch them when it was,
Right, and they're just now figuring out how to use Anna, and it's like Anna's been out since the beginning of Season 2 at the end of Season 1, and they're just now figuring out that, yes, she is viable, and this is how we can use her,
Exactly.
So, it's interesting. It'll be interesting. So, we got, so some of the other notes from the things that happened today. We had some legendary skins. They showed us the legendary skins for Sombra and stuff like that. They talked about her other abilities, which we discussed. They talked about some of her lore and some of the other lore, like while she was on the screen.
They talked about a lot of her concept and everything. She was actually, they actually had a base design for her before they were even done with Genji.
Yeah, like
she had the throwing dagger kind of things that she was originally going to have, and some other stuff, and just the way they, how development works. She got kind of shuffled off to the side when they started working on splitting Hanzo at the time into two brothers, which, I mean, some people may have already heard the development of how those two characters came along, so I won't go into that again. But, it's just, it's interesting how some of the development works like that. I mean, this character has been around since a year longer than some of these other ones that they've worked on. And it's just the way
right.
So.
And I personally like the fact, like, I posted a lot of things on Reddit about how my theory was that she was going to be a stealth hero and she was going to have this stealth ability and stuff like that. And I got so many people telling me, like, she can't be a stealth hero. Blizzard said vehemently that they were not going to have a stealth hero in Overwatch because they're overpowered and they're dumb.
And they changed their mind. They're allowed to do that.
My comment back to them was, like, every time somebody would say that, it's like, we're 22 heroes in. This is the 23rd hero. They are the developer. They don't have the right to change their mind or, change the way the game is played, or they're looking at the game completely different than the way we're playing it. And I had developers on, like, people claiming they were developers. You don't understand how character development works and everything. I was literally being called everything except my Christian name, which they don't know, but but we won't get into that right now. So we'll just say that people were saying that I had no idea what I was talking about, and Blizzard said that they were not going to absolutely not do a stealth hero. So I'm glad that they're doing, they're not calling it a stealth hero or invisibility, but I'm glad that they're stepping away from, you know, like they said that they weren't going to do this, but they did it anyway because they thought that it would be fun and they thought, you know, it could be viable in the game. So me personally,
it's going to change things a lot. It's going to shake things up. Her abilities are going to destroy this whole current meta of the 3 tanks, 3 healers.
right.
It's going to shut it down. So I am more than happy to see her put in here clearly. Yeah, she'll be tweaked. That's what the PTR is for. Things will be kind of, you know, we'll move this number around. We'll do this number here or there. But I definitely think that it's a very viable thing. And the stealth has never bothered me that big. I don't understand why people are that worried about it. Like I said, it's not the spy from Team Fortress. She's not cloaking herself to look like someone else so she can gank them in the back with a one-shot kill. That's not what's going on. She's going slightly invisible for a very limited amount of time, and the minute she attacks, or the minute that she gets hit, she's visible again.
Right. So it's, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens when she becomes in game and stuff like that. How people play her and how she reacts to other heroes. So,
but Sombra is not the only thing that happened today.
So let's talk about the new features, and then we'll get into the new maps. So the new features that, if anybody's logged into the PTR after the update a couple weeks ago, you would notice that they removed the quick play. So there's no more quick play. It's only, right now it's only competitive, custom, and versus AI. So, which was in fact a way to include this new feature called arcade feature. So the brawl has been changed from brawl to total mayhem, and it gets changed to different modes, I guess, depending on what you're doing. I don't really understand. Do you understand like how that works? Is it you pick total mayhem and then you pick one of the sub ones? Like, so okay, well, let's just go into the modes. So the modes that they've announced are the 1v1 mystery duel, which is a best of 9, each round picks a hero for both players. The custom map is, we'll talk about in a minute. They have a custom map for the 1v1, and there's also a 3v3 elimination mode. Multiple rounds, best of 5. Pick who you want, but no changing in round. Single hero limit. There's a 6. So then it gets into like some of the brawls we've already seen. 6v6 mystery heroes, 6v6 no limits, all brawls. So then it shows. So then like all the brawls, like the one we have now, the pharmacy one, some of the other ones that we've had before. And then there's some new ones, like there's a all soldiers. We're all soldiers now. There's a high noon one where I guess they're all McCree. And then there's a Lucio Reinhardt one and a Roadhog and Lucio. And it has a...
Yeah, the Lucio Roadhog one sounds really fun. It's only the well. It's only the well on Ilios.
Yeah. And the Reinhardt Lucio one is in a specific map too, I think.
I think you are correct. I don't remember which one it was though.
And then, but the cool thing is, like, where this hasn't worked with some of the games that I've played in, is like you pick one and you sit there forever, or it puts you in a game and you just sit there until somebody joins. It'll tell you how many people are playing and if it's actually viable to play at the time you want to play. So that'll be interesting. I don't know. I don't really understand how this works. Did you get any better sense of of how these things work.
Let's go backing in reverse a little bit. I know, like you just said.
Yeah, I don't want to get too far ahead.
All the game modes are going to have a popularity meter attached to them. Basically, so when you go into a game mode, be it whichever one of the brawls that you just mentioned or anything else, you basically at least go in knowing that you may be sitting there for 5 minutes in a queue, or you might be able to get one within 20 seconds of jumping into it. So you at least have a better idea. It also is going to be there for Blizzard to give them an idea of what modes the player base seems to be leaning towards, so they can continue to make more brawls, more arcade-themed maps and stuff like that in that direction, from what Jeff was talking about. So that's one of the main purposes of having the popularity meter and everything on there. So I think that's a good thing. I mean, I definitely know that I've gone into some of the brawls, and especially like Lucio Ball. It was fun and everything, and I think a lot of people played it when it first started out. By the end, though, of the summer games, I think most people were kind of done with it. Yeah. So if you're like, hey, I want to go play a thing of Lucio Ball because I really enjoyed it. Now you're sitting there for however long. You know, clearly I don't know how the time waits were on PC versus console, but I know a couple times that I sat there for a game of Lucio Ball probably over 10 minutes. It was double digits.
Yeah.
It's like, gee. So,
yeah, on console it was a really long wait time towards the end of the summer games, but on PC it was always you could always get on like within a couple. It was a normal like minute and a half wait time, so it wasn't anything crazy.
And even then, you were lucky if you didn't get re-instanced by the time you actually got people in it.
Right.
Hey, I wait 10 minutes, I get a couple people in there, then one person decides to drop, and the whole game just gets kicked out and restarted. Like,
yeah, everybody leaves. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll see how that works out. Like I said, it's difficult when you change modes like this in a game like Overwatch, where it's working, like it's kind of working. Like, yes, they said the brawl's not working the way they want it to. I don't know if this is the right way to do it, but I guess we'll see what happens.
I mean, they can change it again. I mean, that's their right and everything else, and they want to try something different to get people to play it. And I definitely think the whole loot box thing that we hadn't really mentioned yet is going to at least get people to play it a little bit more. I mean, it's motivation. It may still not have people want to do it beyond the loot boxes, but it's at least getting people to play them a little bit more. For that motivation, you get one loot box every 3 games, or was it 3 wins? I don't remember.
So you get
up to 3 loot boxes for 9 games for the week. So I mean, at least gets people in there for 9 games. Whether they stay there for 10, 12, 15, or anything beyond those 9, that remains to be seen.
Right. So it's it gives, like, that was my always thing with the brawl. Like, the brawls are fun and stuff, but there's no incentive to play the brawl. Like, you get less experience points for playing the brawl. So I don't want to play the brawl because I'm getting less experience points right away. You know. And then that was always my thing, like, hey, give us an incentive to play the brawl, and we'll play it. So you get 3 wins, and you get an extra loot box, and up to 3 loot boxes that week. So 9 wins will get you 3 extra loot boxes within a week. So that's at least some incentive, I think, for people to want to play these brawls. It's just difficult when you get less XP, and when you're trying to grind out games for loot boxes during an event, and you can't do that by playing the stupid brawl. So, and then I don't know when it was. I think it was like just before the summer games. They started repeating brawls and stuff. So, it's like, what, you're gonna have the brawl? That's fine. Well, then you keep changing it. It's just an just a part of the code of the brawl. It's nothing special. You're just changing. It's like doing a custom game, and you're just modifying the modifiers. Just keep doing that. Just keep doing that. And so I don't understand why they're repeating brawls anyway. So I don't know. So
I definitely think they want something different. They want something besides the main meat and potatoes, to have something else for people to do. I get that, but yeah, I think they're not quite sure what they want it to be. So this is kind of that learning curve, and unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, we're going to be going through that learning curve with them.
Right.
So,
it'll be.
But it's, you buy the game, it's free. We don't have to pay for continued DLC as they try and figure it out.
Right.
So.
Yeah, you don't have to pay every time they change it. So just keep changing it. It's fine. Just don't change the mechanics of the game too much.
Right. In terms of changing mechanics, we're talking about stuff. Quick play, 1 hero limit. It is coming.
Yeah. So the hero limit coming to quick
the
play.
stacking will be in that arcade side. So.
Yeah. So that's the. What's it called? Hero. 6 limits. So there's still no PvE yet. So
no horde
everybody,
mode yet, no PvE yet.
Everybody's been caught up, so there's no PvE yet. So you get the rewards and you pick whichever. Okay, so all that will be on the PTR next Tuesday. What is it, the 8th? So I will throw myself on the sword and check it out. And make sure that
yes, 8th is next Tuesday, so that'll most likely be the update day.
Yeah, so cool. Echo Point. So there's 2 new maps that they talked about, which is good and bad, I guess. So the 2 new maps. One map is solely for use of the I guess elimination mode, where it's just like. What would that like?
Yeah, it was one of the arcade ones. That was the 3v3 one.
I'm trying to think of what it's called in other games. It's called like match game, where you just the amount of kills you get.
I think it was match, because they talked about you get 3 characters, and once they die, they die. But that was one of those big things. It's like, well, if Mercy's in your team, she has a chance of resetting people.
Right.
On it. It's like, wow, you're supposed to, once they're gone, but Mercy just changed that.
Right.
Now they're back again. It's an elimination.
Oops! Now they've already changed the rules of their own game. So there's a new map that they're going to do for it, which is Echo Point Antarctica, which they use to kind of describe some of the lore that we were missing from in-game stuff and other things. So the Echo Point Antarctica was May's base of operations, where she was doing research for Overwatch. So now we know officially that she was in Antarctica. She got frozen for 10 years, and she was the only one that made it out alive. So this will be the new 3v3 or 1v1 elimination. So this will be a single map for this one type of thing. And then
the 1v1 they said is specifically the same character.
Yeah, and it's random or whatever. It picks the hero.
It'll always be soldier versus soldier, Lucio versus Lucio.
Yeah.
It's always going to be the same character.
Yeah. Excuse me. So then the second new map, which is still in development, which I guess they decided to show us for whatever reason, is called the Oasis, based in the Sahara Desert. I guess kind of like Numbani in the middle of Africa. The Oasis is in the middle of the Sahara. It is going to be released maybe in the PTR in December. They weren't really sure about the dates. Possibly early January 2017 for official release. That'll be a control point
It's
map.
Blizzard, let's just go with 2017.
Yeah, somebody pick a date. It'll be a control point map or a King of the Hill style. They said that one point has, and the map is still in development, so we'll see if it's even. But it looked pretty finished. So, however, I guess the development is they're adding new features to the maps themselves to see if they work. So,
I'm definitely curious to see how the jump pads get factored into the map.
right. Are we trying to get heroes to go higher than they or like different like unexpected places where they shouldn't be, or what are they trying to do with that, you know? It's like, what are we trying to do here? So it'll be interesting to see.
It'll definitely make things interesting, people coming in from odd angles, you know. The whole jumping sniper thing with Widow that you can kind of do with the hook. Not very well on console, mind you, but I've seen it done pretty well on PC. I'm sure it'll get you a little more time in the air for that. You know, the surprise Reinhardt Earth Shatter off the jump pad. You know, the flying Roadhog or anything else. So
I would like to see, like, if you're Reinhardt and you sneak attack someone. So Reinhardt has been the same ever since Overwatch came around. Like, they haven't, like, he's the one hero that hasn't had any changes to him at all. But if there was one change that I would like them to make to Reinhardt, if I'm up on top of a building and I use my Earth Shatter and I like come down off of a building and sneak attack Earth Shatter somebody, I want it to do way more damage than it actually does. Like, I want it to do like 100 damage instead of 50, because I'm coming down on top of you.
Yeah, you've got all that gravity behind it. Should add a little bit more to it.
Right. So if I'm if I'm a stealth Reinhardt, I should get extra points for that. So I don't know. I think that was it for all the like in-game announcements. Is that it? Is that pretty much it?
I think, yeah, we covered Sombra, which was the biggest one. We got both the maps. We got arcade mode, everything in there. I think that covers most everything. Like I said, I was a little disappointed. I wanted at least a little tease of something else for another character, because we got the official Sombra thing, and I really don't want to do another ARG for Doomfist or anybody else.
Right.
So.
Yep. Even though they probably will, but whatever.
You know, I was hoping that little stinger type thing at the end of Sombra's thing when we see the person coming into the office. It ended up being Zarya. I thought maybe, hey, there's Doomfist or some other new character or anything, but you know, it ended up being her. Which, I mean, it fits. It's fine.
Yeah.
And everything. But it's like, oh, perfect situation to throw someone new in there.
Right. Throw something else in the mix. I mean, at least it was. I mean, I was hoping that it would be somebody else, but at the same time, you kind of want, like, you want the lore to build upon itself at this point. So you wanted it to be, like, Zarya works because then it's like, okay, well, that's why Zarya is doing all this in Overwatch. That's why she's in Overwatch, right? It's not, she's there to watch Talon and make sure that Reaper and Widowmaker are under control. She's not there to, you know, help protect people necessarily. She's for Russia. She's there to watch those two, and now she's there to watch what's her name? Sombra. So it'll be interesting to see from that. So the other thing that we talked about yesterday, but unfortunately I guess we didn't really talk about it, was the Overwatch League. Which
yes, the esports league.
We'll see. Blizzard wants to create their own Overwatch basketball team, which is not I guess I don't know how to make an analogy. So it's like a.
Well, I mean,
they want to make
its
their own
league.
sports
It's going to
team.
have local teams in states and towns.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to go to the compound or whatever they want to call it, and you can go and get yourself tested to see your skills, and they can make you an offer. You sign a contract, you get a paycheck and benefits and all that other stuff. So it'll be interesting. I mean, they wanted to hint at like fantasy drafts. I guess now they want to have fantasy esports teams on top of esports.
Right.
I don't know about that one just yet. That seems even a little far fetched. and I'm fully behind the whole esport thing, but.
Right. Yeah, I don't know how you would have, like, I'm trying to think of, okay, yeah, yes, it is like a sporting thing, but how do you make it a fantasy? Like, some things just don't, like, golf has its own fantasy league. Like, golf has no reason to be a fantasy golf league. So I don't know how, like, unless you, like, made it more like of an in-game thing. Like if it was in Overwatch, like a in-game fantasy thing, like if they tied it directly to the game, instead of I have to go log into my BattleNet and I gotta go change my roster real fast. You know, if they made it like an in-game thing where I got to like do something interactively with something, I don't know how that would work, but. That would be.
Well, I know so-and-so was streaming last night, and he was up till 4 a.m., and he's supposed to be doing this tournament at 2, and I know he's not going to get really good sleep, so I'm going to pull him from my main list, and I'm going to put this guy and say, really? I mean, I don't.
Right. Yeah, a lot of it doesn't. I don't know if it. Anyway, but the league of itself is really cool. That it has a lot to do with just gaming in general becoming more of a mainstream thing. So, as opposed to, I don't know. I mean, gaming just, I don't really know. I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens, I guess.
Blizzard will be leading us into the dystopian future that is before us.
The dystopian future of esports.
Yes.
So we'll see what happens. I mean, the esports scene now is interesting and stuff, and if you listen to the High Noon podcast or some other esports podcasts that cover Overwatch esports, like the scene is really vibrant and it's really cool right now, and it's really young. So it would have been, I think, almost better to see if something would have happened organically than like it kind of is now, rather than let's force it to happen and let's just see what happens after that. I don't know. I mean, I don't really know how I feel about it yet. So
I mean, I definitely want to see where things go. I kind of understand from a business standpoint, and here it is. It's all about the dollar sign and everything. I understand why they want to kind of do it now. Overwatch is young, it's budding, it's popular. They want to get on the ground floor, and they want to control it themselves.
Yep.
And everything.
Right.
And from a business standpoint, by all means, it makes perfect sense. I understand it. You are controlling how the league works. You change the rules. You make the rules. Everybody applies to them and everything. You basically have full control over everything. Unlike, the NFL, the MLB, any of the other major sports organizations right now. Yeah, I mean, you've got the commissioners and everything, but you've got dozens of owners and all the different problems with salary caps and everything else now. Blizzard controlling it all now basically has their hand over everybody and sets the ground rules from the start. Because even right now, you've got all these other ones. I mean, what is it? NRG, Cloud9, Splice, Misfits. All these. They're different countries. They're different owners. They can throw different amounts of money around. Different people in tournaments because of how much money they have, exposure, and everything else. Right now, I mean, there's no real, at least I'm not aware of, there's no real level cap or anything that somebody wants to make their own esports team that they're bound by. I mean, I think, was it Shaquille O'Neal owns NRG?
Yeah,
is it that one?
Yeah.
I mean, it's Shaq. He's got so much money that he doesn't know what to do with. He decided to make an esports team.
Well, then that led to the Philadelphia 76ers, which is a legitimate sporting team, bought Team Dignitas. So you have two like legitimate sports figure and an actual business owns these two places. So these two teams that are solely for playing Overwatch.
And I think this is, where I'm saying Blizzard can kind of control that now, whereas you've got these guys who have so much money they don't know what to do with, where some of these other people that are coming into this competition, they might be better, by all means, but they don't have the financial backing to get them to all these tournaments and get them, okay, I'm a great player, I do all this, but the World Cup, I need to get here. Now, I'm not sure how much Blizzard footed the bill for any of these World Cup teams or anything, but it's like,
right. Well, everybody.
How do I get to this tournament in upstate California? Because I'm down in southern. I don't have means of driving. I'm this up and coming streamer. I'm in this because I'm popular. I've got some skill, but I can't get there on my own because I don't have the cash fund right now. Or anything like that. Whereas all this other one is like, Shaq, get in my private plane, I'll fly you right now. So I understand where it's getting established now, and I think that's good for it starting off. Again, though, it's going to be one of these things we have to see where it goes. I mean, this could be the XFL with Vince McMahon in the WWE. This could blow up in their face and be absolutely a failure.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be, but I've seen it happen. Any of us that are old enough to know what the XFL is, we know what happened. It was bad.
Yeah, we have the XFL, and you have, it's throughout sports in general. You have these trial and error things. So you have the WNBA, and what was the other one that started? There was another one that started at the same time that was like the alternate to the WNBA that's not around anymore. And then like even in wrestling, you had the WWF, and then they split off into the WCW and the WWF, but then they got back together into the WWE
and TWA and all these other ones. Yeah.
Right, so it's like you have all these like ups and downs of sports in general, so it's really, like you said, it's the beginning of it. So we'll just see what happens from here. I guess that's all we can really just sit back and watch. Yeah. So we'll see.
It'll either be a great, glorious thing to see bloom, and we'll be there from the ground floor, or it's going to be that train wreck that we just have to sit back and we can't turn away as we watch it.
And just like, well, I'm just going to play my video game at home and and not care about any of that nonsense. So, yep. I think I'm looking through notes and stuff here. I think, was there anything else? I don't know how much time you have, but
no, I'm off this week. I'm good to go as long as we want to run this thing. I don't know if you saw it because it wasn't during the Overwatch panel. Heroes of the Storm.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
From what I understand, it's not doing as well as they'd like. Now I know Blizzard does cross promotion and everything, but there's that Genji Oni skin that is being promoted now, and Zarya that you can get in from playing Heroes of the Storm. You play 15 games with a friend. It unlocks the Genji Oni skin, and you get Zarya free in Heroes of the Storm. So, by all means, I think that was November 5th 15th, and it's through January 1st for that promotion.
Yep.
So you play 15 games with your friends, and you get that stuff unlocked. And my understanding, I haven't gotten confirmed yet, my understanding though, it should tie through your Battle.net account like the Bastion. I'm tired. The Bastion skin.
Yeah.
For the virtual tickets. So it should apply to your PC and for us on console.
Right.
So you have to get on PC to play Heroes of the Storm.
It's free to play.
It's free, exactly. It's free to play, and you only need to play 15 games. So, I mean, technically you can get however many friends you need to, play against the AI, and just, you know, probably sit there AFK if you really wanted to do that for however long it's take to lose the match.
Right.
But
So
I'm not going to promote that's how you play. I mean,
yeah. The typical.
If you want the Oni skin bad enough, you can do that. So.
Typical hero game. I played it for a little bit, and I'm not good at, and I don't really understand those games well enough. They're not like the. It's like a cross between like something like Overwatch and StarCraft. If that sounds right.
The MOBAs came from. The MOBAs were birthed from Warcraft, StarCraft, that real-time strategy, and the editors that Blizzard provided people. I think Dota. I think it was Dota. Dota was the first one.
Yeah.
Dota came from people that had the map editor from StarCraft.
Right.
And they made Dota. And now look at Dota and League and Smite and all the ones that have kind of come from that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Right, so we'll see what... I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'll probably play it. I don't know if I'll get through 15 games, but we'll see. We'll see.
You know, just hit me up. Like I said, we can just do one of these and have it running in the background while we're talking here.
So yeah, but I had somebody on Instagram earlier tell me like, hey, we're gonna play. What's your thing? So I sent him my Battle.net thing. He's like, we're gonna play this, so we're gonna grind out 15 games. I'm like, okay, that's fine. We'll do that then.
I think if you play 30, there's like 4 more characters, but
yeah, the 4 more characters
really only applicable if you actually like your Heroes of the Storm. And by all means, if you like Heroes of the Storm, play it. So
it's totally fine. So the I don't know. Is that so? Did you watch any of the other conferences, or is there any other notable? I know everybody was excited about the Diablo thing. Like the Diablo 1 is going to be in Diablo 3.
I mean, clearly, I'm watching it on the virtual ticket. I'm not there. It seemed that people were excited about it. Me personally, I'm hit or miss with the whole retro game thing. I like the fact that we have new graphics. I like the fact that things have improved since 1996.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I want to go and play a game that looks like it was made in 1996 again when I don't have to.
Right.
You know, I'm very interested in the Necromancer that they've promoted as a new class. That's awesome. Not so much as going through a portal that magically shoots me back to 16-bit type looking game with 8 direction diagonals that I can't move compared to 360 and
right.
I don't know. I mean, cool. Yeah, it's a nice little nod and everything, and hopefully some people like it, but that's not going to be something that gets me to jump back and play it. The Necromancer itself during the regular gameplay, when I get more information and see that and everything, maybe, yeah, but not the Diablo 1 inside Diablo 3. So overall, I think outside of the Overwatch, and again, I'm a little bit biased on that, so, but the con as a whole hasn't really struck me as mind-blowing this year.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there aren't any new IPs this year, clearly. I mean, it's not like when they first announced Overwatch or anything like that. It wasn't like, oh, Overwatch is coming out of the beta, clearly, like last year, or anything like that. So, I mean, it's a little bit different atmosphere. I get that. It's just, I don't know, the con itself is like, eh. But maybe that's just me sitting at home watching it on live stream as opposed to being there. Of course, I'm also disappointed that this year they didn't put a bunch of the panels on streaming outside of the ones on the main stage.
Yeah.
So you've got the main stage stuff, awesome. You've got the tournaments, which are free anyway. You don't actually have to pay for those. They're running those free for everybody to watch because they want to promote esports. They're going to put them out free. But then you've got the stuff with the voice actors, some of the art stuff, and all that stuff that I'd be curious to watch, or I want to see that I don't get to watch on stream this year. And it's like, well, I paid $40 to watch half the stuff I could watch free anyway, and a couple in-game skins, and half of them on games I don't even play right now. It's like, oh, okay. So, but it is what it is, so.
So, yeah, well, and I guess there didn't seem like there was any big World of Warcraft announcement. Everybody was kind of like, well, we're just going to play our expansion pack for another 2 years, so don't worry about having any World of Warcraft stuff. And
yeah, they already announced Legion, so people are riding the high on that. And then, if you like WoW, by all means, enjoy WoW. I can't stick with it. I don't have the time or the energy to stick with it. Hearthstone just had an expansion. They do have another one coming out. Clearly, it's a card game. They need to pump out regular content more often than any of the other ones.
Yeah.
I mean, StarCraft has a little bit more content coming out. Heroes of the Storm has a little bit more content coming out, but nothing major that I really noted from either one of those. So.
Yep. I think. Let's see.
And the Diablo 4 rumors, I guess, were busted. So.
Yeah. Let's have more of the same. Okay, that's fine. We'll just do more of the same. I guess is what they were trying to tell us.
Well, if the same thing works, I guess you can't complain. But if the same thing isn't working anymore, then you need to do something different.
I think that all the Diablo players are kind of like, this is boring. We need a, they need a new one, so I don't know. We'll see. See what happens, I guess. So, we'll see if the Diablo players go back, and so, I don't know.
Like I said, the Necromancers are cool, don't get me wrong, but that alone's not enough to get me playing again.
Yeah.
And the retro thing is definitely not any encouragement for me to go again.
So I think that pretty much covers everything that happened today. So if anything major happens tomorrow, we'll probably be off show until Monday, just to kind of let everything settle down, and we'll come back on Monday.
Big announcements were definitely today.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the schedule here again before we kind of slow things down in this or anything Overwatch related. There's a play-by-sound panel there to start the day off, audio design, different music and voice and sound effect stuff. That's 10 a.m. Pacific time. Clearly you got the World Cup finals going, more Blizzard 25 anniversary, Hearthstone Q&A, World of Warcraft, more stuff on Legion, more Diablo Q&A. We do have a Q&A for Overwatch at 5:15 Pacific, 8:15 Eastern Time. That may net us some more stuff to talk about come Monday, depending on how that goes. That's going to be the fans getting to ask questions. So we can have a lot of information come out of that, or we can have Blizzard's trying to sidestep a lot of questions again.
Yeah, or it could just be a bunch of people, I love your game. I can't believe it. Yeah, thanks. Okay, next question.
Thank you for Sombra. We love the ARG. Go away.
Yeah, don't say that. don't get up and say that.
But yeah, I think the Q&A, if we get anything tomorrow, is going to come from that. So that's right before the closing ceremony. You know, they could always drop that one last thing, like I was hoping for today.
Right.
But
wait till the end. So, yep. Well, we'll see what happens, I guess, in the next couple days. Kind of let it settle down and come back on Monday, and then so come back on Monday with a new show, and then we'll do I'll just talk about what happened over the weekend, and then on Tuesday I'll try to jump on the PTR and
is that the best you can do?
See what's happening there.
Somebody jumped in our game and shot me in the head.
I don't know who that is. That's very interesting. I have no idea who that is. It's almost funny.
No one can hide from my sight.
Anyway. Alright then. Fair enough. So yeah, so I guess on that note, well, so so is there anything you want to plug or you want to talk about?
I mean,
what you got going on?
Self-promotion. Yeah, blatant self-promotion. I'll always take that. Like I said last time, I am on Twitch. You can watch me stream on there. My schedule's not quite as steady as I'd like yet, but it's getting a little bit better, getting a little more constant with it. So definitely you can check me out on Twitch at Gotham Lord. So twitch.tv/Gotham Lord. And you can follow me on Twitter at Gotham Lord. I'm running a bunch of different giveaways. Once I hit 100 followers on both of those, I've got digital copy of Warcraft I'm giving out. I've got Funko Pops I'm giving out. I've got gift cards. And if I hit my main goal of 250 followers on Twitch, which is my main one right now, I am giving away a free copy of Overwatch Origins Edition, your choice of platform. Clearly, I'll plug the PS4 because we're a console-based podcast more than anything. But if you want it on PC, if you want it on that evil other thing called the Xbox, so. But yeah, definitely check me out. Hit me a follow, and feel free to contact me if you have any questions about anything. I am more than happy to team up with people and everything. Play a couple quick games, just chat, BS, whatever it need be. So.
Yeah, that's cool. So just send me the links that you want me to post, and I'll post them in the show notes below. And I'll post them on our website.
Okay. Awesome.
overwatchtoday.blogspot.com. So you can check us out everywhere on the internet, Overwatch Today. You can literally Google Overwatch Today, all one word or not, and you can find us wherever you want to. So we have we stream every weeknight, or just about every weeknight, depending on schedules and stuff, at 10 p.m. Central Time if you want to check us out live on YouTube, or Twitch if you want to stream on your channel as well. You can do that while we're doing it. It's not a problem. So you can check us out on Overwatch Today, stream on YouTube, or you can check us out on, what's your Twitch page?
Gotham Lord.
Gotham Lord. If you want to stream it there, people can check you out there too, I guess. So that is all we got for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. Check us out there. You can email us at overwatchtoday@gmail.com. And thanks for watching. Snoop Loop, and good high noon to you all.